At the loft, Hope and Trip discuss Sierra's whereabouts. Hope leaves Sierra a message to call, then learns from Trip she rushed off on her motorcycle. They make more calls to no avail. Trip fears Sierra got in an accident, but Hope refuses to go there. At Doug's place, Julie rants to Doug about Gabi beating murder charges again. She calls Rafe a liar and a cheat and vows if she gets her hands on him. Rafe appears and asks, "You what?" Rafe defends Gabi and asks Julie to give her a chance, especially since there's still a chance for him and Hope, who storms in and announces Sierra's missing. Rafe puts out an APB on Sierra while Doug calls the hospitals, and Hope calls Sierra's friend. No one's heard from her. Doug tries to soothe Hope's worries and gently kisses her on the head. Rafe tries to do the same and holds Hope close. Brady hollers out for a drink at the Brady's pub. Eric appears. Though Brady wants booze, he orders a club soda. Eric thinks Xander has Brady up in arms, but Brady informs that Teresa's back. Eric knows and listens as Brady brings up Victor knowing why Teresa left Salem and how he made her editor-in-chief of Bella magazine. Victor's now Team Teresa. Eric wonders if Victor's feelings about Teresa are warranted. Brady insists he's done with Teresa and is in love with Eve. Eric reminds Teresa has a good heart and expresses how nice it is having Brady in his life. Brady gets a work text and has to deal with it. Eric urges Brady to have a conversation with Teresa and says, she's staying at JJ's. Teresa arrives at JJ's apartment to find him working out shirtless. After she messes up his routine, Teresa boasts about being placed in Brady and Eve's orbit. Victor made her the new editor-in-chief of Bella magazine. JJ doesn't think she has a chance with Brady. Teresa blames Chloe and Eve for ruining everything. If she and Brady would have made love that night she returned, everything would be different. Talk turns to how JJ and Teresa first met and they flash back to JJ selling drugs and how he offered to get high with her but Teresa didn't want to rob the cradle. Suddenly, there's a knock. Teresa opens the door to find Brady. JJ gives them space and leaves. Brady orders Teresa to give him back Bella and professes his love for Eve. Teresa agrees to give Brady back Bella if he makes love to her, now. JJ stops by the Brady's pub and relays to Eric that Brady's with Teresa. Though he's grateful to JJ for taking Teresa in, Eric warns JJ not to get dragged into Teresa's mess. Claire approaches Eve's table outside Mandalay. Eve rants about Sierra blowing off face of Bella business. Claire fills Eve in on Sierra walking in on her and Trip. Eve places blame on Trip. All men are dogs, except Brady. Claire brings up Theo and says it's hard getting someone out of your system, even if you think you're into someone else. Claire leaves Eve deep in thought. When she returns, Claire offers to be the face of Bella if Sierra backs out. Eve will keep her in mind, if the face of Bella doesn't blow up, now that Teresa's in charge. Eve makes a call about Teresa and has a proposition for someone. Claire arrives at the loft and confirms to Trip no one's heard from Sierra. In the cabin, Sierra gasps in fear at the sight of Ben Weston staring at the flame of the lighter in his hand. She calls him the necktie killer. Ben confirms his identity and knows who she is. "You stay away from me," Sierra orders and screams in pain. Ben moves closer and explains her leg is likely broken. Sierra wonders what he's going to do to her. He's trying to help her but Sierra recalls his sentence at the mental hospital. If Ben wanted her dead he would have left her on the side of the road. Sierra remembers taking the curve too fast and how she was thinking about those two. She won't elaborate. Ben gets it, he's spent a lot of time having to talk about his feelings. Sierra cannot believe Ben was set free. Ben hands over his release papers and shares his recent encounters with Salemites. She reminds that Ben killed 4 people. Ben knows, and has to live with what he's done, but vows she has nothing to fear from him. Why didn't he call 911? Ben doesn't have a cell and had to carry her. He didn't want to come back to this cabin but had to get Sierra to safety. Sierra wonders how Ben got sane. When Sami forced him to reenact Will's strangulation, he realized everything he'd done. He confides how his dad used to beat up his mom and sister. That's how he knew how to take care of Sierra. She begs to go to the hospital but Ben replies, "I'm sorry, but I can't do that."